All right, guys, what's happening? What's happening? It is Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. This is weird, man. It's like 20, almost 20 after 11 here. And we're just getting on morning perspective this morning. So we'll see how many people actually jump on here. It's kind of an odd time. But this morning, we're going to talk about hope and how hope is about what's in front of us. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right. Good morning, guys. How are you? Tammy Clark here as usual. Good morning to you. Brian Sharp, Eli, good morning. And Mark Forelli, good morning, guys. So wanted to jump on here this morning and talk about hope. You know, I was watching a YouTube video yesterday, and pretty much almost the exact words that I titled this, hope is about what's in front of us, came up during that YouTube video. And I thought, man, what a great time, you know, to talk about that word. Muted. I don't even know how long I was muted there, so it could have been the whole entire time. But I wanted to talk about hope and how hope is about what's out in front of us. And, you know, there is no time more important for us to talk about hope, in my opinion, than right now, right? What's going on in the world right now, a lot of people need hope. A lot of people are kind of in that spot. And hope, we're going to talk about how hope comes in all different shapes and sizes. In you know, different places in your life. Like, we all need hope regardless of what place we're at in our lives and what you know, position we may be in at that very moment. It doesn't matter. We all need hope regardless of where we're at. I wanted to start by telling you something that one of my buddies, his name is Carl Scaramuzzo. One of my buddy Carl says this, and I think it's one of the most kind of one of the quotes that stands out to me the most of that my friends say. And he says that how you feel in one moment does not determine how you will feel in the next. You determine that, right? You will determine how you feel in that next moment. So no matter how you feel right now, right at this moment, maybe you're having a bad day. Maybe everything went wrong this morning for you, but that will not determine how you feel in the next moment. And that is an important thing to realize for us. And I think a lot of people don't realize that they just assume that how you feel in this moment, this is going to last a day or 2 days or a week or whatever it is. You determine that. You determine how you're going to feel in that next moment. So I want you to think about that, and how you get out of feeling how you might feel in this moment right now into the next moment is partially through hope. It's your hope, it's your faith that gets you to that next spot of feeling better than you do in the moment that you're in right now. So some of the stuff that I wrote down kind of preparing for this is that, you know, hope comes in many shapes and sizes, right? Hope can be a child that hopes that their father, who's a police officer, comes home safe today. Or another child's hope to be an astronaut when they grow up. You know, those are things that, you know, kids hope and they dream and they do, you know, all that stuff so innocently, right? And the other shape and size that it comes in is it could be a person in prison hoping that they can be free someday, or hoping that they can be forgiven by another person for the wrong that they've done. So hope comes in a variety of different ways, right? I think we can all agree on that. Hope is the most powerful thing that we possess as we go through life. As human beings, hope is without a doubt one of the most powerful things that we possess. And remember this, your hope will be determined, significantly determined or impacted, I guess you could say, by those people who are around you. Those people who are around you in life are always influencing you, whether you realize it or not. If you don't realize it, it is probably a dangerous thing that you need to be completely aware of. You need to be aware of those people around you, because they are going to determine 100% the level of hope that you are actually able to have. So choose those people around you wisely. So the title of this is Hope is About What's in Front of Us. And I want to spend a minute talking about that title, because hope can only be what's in the future, right? And I think the quote says, the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror for a reason, right? That was part of the video that I watched last night. I'm going to share that video, the link to that video in the comments here. It was from the governor of South Dakota, and she was talking about how she handled the pandemic this year, and just how hopeful the people of South Dakota were during this whole time when people in other parts of the country weren't so hopeful. And I think it will inspire you to hear the words and how she handled that, and being a leader in the face of some pretty tough opposition and some pretty tough adversity. But hope is what she relied on. It was not fear, it was hope. And I think that's an important differentiation to look at through this year, because many people have been frozen by the fear and never released by the hope. There will always be people around you who are going to try to extinguish your hope. And there will always be people available to help you make it burn brighter. And so your choice of who you surround yourself with, who you interact with, how long you allow those people to stay in your life that maybe don't belong there, that will determine continuously the level of hope that you are able to have. And so I ask you to always be evaluating those people around you, what you're giving your energy to, what you're focused on, how much time you spend on these things that maybe start to drive the amount of hope that you have down. Remember this: people who are happy always have hope for the future. And that is without a doubt the type of outlook that we all want to have in life. We all want to be surrounded by those people who help that flame burn brighter, not those who are trying to extinguish it. And remember this, that those people that you connect with and that you allow to be in your life, they will eventually start to affect you in more than one way. So they will affect you in to what Keith just said, what you consume, you become. So everything that you are taking in, everything you are listening to, you will eventually become that. That's why it's important to choose the right people. So if you are dealing with someone who is consistently frustrating, it will eventually change you as a person. And by the way, when you are dealing with someone, let's use the example, you're dealing with someone that people think is not a good person, right? Not a good person. They do shady things. People will eventually start to look at you that way. No question about it. Like, that is how it works. And so you have to be careful about who you surround yourself with, because they will impact your hope. They will impact everything about the rest of your life. They will impact so many things that you have to constantly be evaluating who it is that you're surrounded by, because those people will either help it burn brighter or they will extinguish the flame. And I want you guys to remember that hope is it's about what's out in front of you. So if you're sitting there today and you're not where you want to be, let's say, you're in a place, you're in your 40s, right? And you're just not where you wanted to be at this age, not where you imagine you would be. Hope is the only thing. Hope and hard work are the combination of things that's going to correct that course. Sitting there and thinking about it and being negative, or finding somebody to listen to you be negative, that endorses that is not ever going to fix it. The only thing that's going to fix it is about having hope for the future. And so as we are in this season of, elections and all the things going on in our world, hope is that thing that will get us through. Hope is that thing that keeps us always looking forward for a brighter day tomorrow, for a brighter 2021 than 2020. So I want you to remember that as you're going forward, man, always cast that positive hope into other people's lives. Always try to inspire them to think about how much better the future will be. And it's always going to be that way. The future is always getting better. If you were to go back into, the old times, and there are some things that are great about the old times, and there are some things that, man, you would never give it up, right? That we have today that we never had 20 years ago. And so when we look to the future, we always have to look to it with hope and positivity. And that is what makes life great, is the hope of what's ahead, right? The inspiration of what's possible, the motivation that hope gives us to make a better life for ourselves, for our families, for the people around us, for the people we work with. 100% Mrs. Calloway always hits the nail on the head. There is no future without hope. There is no future without hope. And I want you guys to remember that and think about it as you go through your day, man. Just always be full of hope. It's the most important thing that we can have. And it's the most powerful tool you have in the world to determine what you will feel like in the next moment. So what you feel like right now, no matter how bad it is, maybe you're sick, maybe you're tired, maybe you've had a terrible year, hope is what will determine you feeling better in the next moment and give you the opportunity to start fresh right now. In one instant, you can make that decision of how you're going to feel in the next moment. It is all up here. And that decision to choose hope and to move forward in a different way, full of hope, the choice is yours. You can make it anytime you want. That's what's beautiful about life. That is what's beautiful about life. And listen, I've been in that spot where it feels like it's all going wrong, like everything's piling up against you. And I have made that decision in that instant to change it. I think everybody has experienced that probably at one time in their life, right? Where things were bad and the day came where you said, okay, enough. And in that moment, what you did was choose hope. You chose to be hopeful about the future, that it's going to be better than this moment that you're living in. And that is an important thing for all of us to have and for all of us to work on and encourage each other to do, because life is not always going to be smooth. It's not always going to be fair. It's not always going to be the way that you wanted it to be. But rest assured, if you see it through, man, God has an amazing plan for you. You were not put on this earth to be average. You were not put on this earth to be anything but extraordinary. And if you have hope, that's exactly what you will be. I hope this message found you in a good place. Man, I'm glad to hear that, Janina. Glad that you needed to hear this today. I think we all need to hear it at times, right? So I hope you guys leave this with some hope. If you found this message to be helpful, share it out so that other people can find their hope today. And hopefully we can finish 2020 here with a ton of momentum, a ton of hope, a ton of inspiration for what 2021 will be. I believe it's going to be the best year ever. I really do in my heart believe that. I'm not just saying that. That's not me being positive. I always believe that the next year will be better than the last. And for my life, it has been, going year after year. I always think that at some point there's going to be, a tough one. And there has been tough ones, but the end result has always been better. And I believe that that's because of the level of hope that I'm able to maintain in my own life. And I hope that this message inspires you to do the same. So happy Wednesday to you guys. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again tomorrow morning, same place, different time, 7:30 a.m. right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys.